La da da da, la da da da. It's those small ripple effects that make bigger waves.
I used to see myself through the eyes of others. Now, I see through me. TGMT.
Hey everyone, welcome. I am really excited to be starting this new journey with all of you and all and all of them today, and for however long that we can. We wanted to do something that was really meaningful to us. What these ladies and I will be doing is something that we have been doing for as long as I've been here, where we talk about things that are important to the lives of students their age, people just like you, and we wanted to take some time to share all of that with all of you. So this is TTT, which means Teen Talk with TGMT, and we're so excited to have you all here with us. We're gonna be talking about things from teen life to social media to relationships to what's happening and what's really, really fun. So, without further ado, our first segment is going to be the lies that social media tells, which basically is talking about we're in an age where social media is the #1 platform for everything. But so many people think that social media is the truth, but it's not always truth. It also has a lot of lies, right?
Correct.
So we're going to be talking about that. Today, we're going to be talking about self-image and what is being portrayed out there in the world of social media and how it can impact people like you and me every day. So, without further ado, I'm going to let my class take over.
Hi. Well, my name is Bryant, and I just want to introduce myself first. But really and honestly, I really feel this topic a lot because in middle school, when I tell y'all I did not really look at my image that much, I didn't really care how I looked to other people. But when I got to high school and I saw social media and I was getting on there more, I saw how you were supposed to look, how I thought you were supposed to look, how that hourglass shape was everything, and how you need to have clear, beautiful skin, long, nice hair, and that really kind of made me depressed, and it made me feel like I wasn't adequate enough to be a part of this society when I looked at like this, and then what you were supposed to look like was literally the complete opposite. So yeah, I really do feel like the models like Kim Kardashian and all these bodies that are so unnatural, and it's hard to look like that, especially if you don't have the money. They don't really promote self-love as much as they do.
Well, hey guys, my name is Armani, and basically to piggyback off what she said, in middle school I really didn't really look at myself and be like, oh well, blah 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 blah. I just normal, like a normal kid, you know. But now that I'm in high school, I look at everybody else and I be like, why am I not like this? Or on social media, I be like, I'm supposed to look like this, but I really don't, and that has really hurt my confidence, and I became insecure because of the things people portray how you supposed to look and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's a big problem nowadays in the teen life.
Well, I'm Angela, and I agree with them. I feel like they have a starter pack for you, the way you're supposed to look and act, and all the things you're supposed to have in order to be the thing, you know, in order to be popular in social media. Oh my God, I hit 1K, or oh my God, blah blah, it's that. I don't know. I just feel like I didn't fit in sometimes, but then again, I think about it and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna try to fit in to be something that I'm not. If I'm not like that, I'm just gonna stay me, you know. And if people don't like me for how I am, then that's on them. That's their problem, not mine. I'm not gonna try to fit in to something that I'm not.
I think for me, it was always just different. I didn't really care about social media at all. I think I'm still the same person that I was in middle school. And I like that because I don't really feel pressured about all these different things that are going on in social media because I don't pay attention to it, and it helps me be more calm and more, how do I say it? Confident, but about myself, because I don't pay attention to anything other than myself and people around me.
For me, I personally just deleted Instagram just because of me feeding into my own insecurities. I don't like seeing how other people are portrayed, like what Brianna said. I don't think I fit the standard, and I don't want to fit the standard, so I just deleted all the
negative things social media try to put out there. Like, I don't see people who are like being shown as models with like their thickness, or they have natural hair. It's always like real skinny, light skin, long hair, you know, and I don't fit that at all. So with social media, it's just really negative. Like, people like to tear you down using social media. It made me not want to take pictures. I still am very self-conscious about that. I don't like being in videos.
But she's working through it.
Yeah. So just basically what you said, you know, I feel like I'm a lot different than how I was in middle school. I didn't care at all. But now it's just, with being in high school, you see everybody caring and you want to care too, but it's not good for you.
You know, I'm the only one here that is not actually a student, but this is really important to me because I know how it is to be in high school. Number one, high school is already really hard because of social pressure, but the difference between when I was in high school and now y'all are in high school is the fact that social media is literally on your person at all times. It's always there. Back when I was in high school, we only relied on TV, movies, to get those images of what the standard is. And we could choose to opt in and opt out a lot easier. Now it's literally in your face. You can hold it in a phone reminding you that you are not, according to society standards, you are not fitting that standard. You're not hitting that mold. So it definitely hits y'all much more profoundly than it did me, because I didn't have, if I wanted to not watch it, I could. But now it's just always there. Before we end this segment, do you have some advice, a tip, something to help them through navigating social media?
Honestly, when you go into social media, I wouldn't really just try to be so don't compare yourself to anything that's on social media. Even if it's the littlest things, don't ever compare yourself to something that's on social media, because you don't know how many times they've edited that, photoshopped, even models do it. So try to just be happy with yourself, be authentic, be different, love how you look in the mirror and say, hey, I love myself every day if you have to, because social media, it's really good for promoting, but when it comes to confidence wise, not so much. It can really hurt you.
You can delete every app. So just, if you feel like it's too much and you're over comparing yourself and you're trying to fit the standard, just delete the app. You can get it back whenever you feel it's time, where you feel like your confidence isn't dependent on what you see on social media. When you have the self-love that you deserve, you can download it back. You don't have to keep it on your phone where it's a constant reminder that I want to check to see. Just delete it until you know yourself.
And the last thing that I will say is something that even as almost a 30-year-old man, knowing truly that you are enough and you don't need any outside anything to help you to understand that. If enough of us understand that we are worthy, no matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter what we look like, it will make things a lot easier. Now, friends, let's get into our next segment, which is solely talking about teen life. Today, we're going to be talking about assumptions and stereotypes. If you look into this beautiful screen, you see people of different colors, different walks of life, different social ethnic backgrounds. But one thing that is for sure is that people that look like us are usually accompanied with assumptions, with stereotypes that people label on us. And I know a lot of you teenagers feel this. So this segment will be talking about stereotypes. Take it away.
Okay, so what I find funny is when I'm usually watching a movie, or even if it's old or something, I'll usually always see the black person or the black character or the brown skin character as, like, let's say a crackhead or a drug addict or a drunkie. I don't really see a lot of African people or brown skinned people, Hispanic people that has like the bigger roles, like the boss, like somebody like that. So I feel like that comes into play with a lot of things, because if that's what you see on the norm, then that's what you get built inside your head, that okay, well, brown skinned people and Hispanic people, they're known to be crackheads, so don't trust them. Oh my God, they have a hood on, they're probably gonna rob us. That just builds a mentality for people in society. Okay, these people are not making me feel safe, and I feel like that's a big problem in society today. I really do.
Especially in school, like teachers, they do it a lot. Like they'll be like this black boy or this Hispanic girl or whatever, and they'll try to make it seem like, oh, they don't do their work because they're black, or they don't do their work because they're Hispanic. But they like to put the white people on a higher standard than everybody else, when the white people can be slacking and the other people can be doing better. And I just don't understand, like, how can you be a teacher and you like try to like degrade another kid because of their race and try to stereotype them? I don't understand that.
Personally, I fall into like many categories. For example, like a lot of people like based on that, like based on how I look, like, you know, like I have colored eyes, my skin color is like lighter than all like many Hispanics, and like they assume for me to be white. Like I remember this one time I was like at the rodeo and this boy came to talk to me. He's like, oh, you're getting on that ride, and his parents were there. He's like, oh, where are your parents? And I pointed to my parents, and my parents look really Mexican, and they're like, and then they like went away slowly. Like, did you think I was like y'all, like wow, that's crazy. But like I like to talk to people like in Spanish so they can know, like, you know, I'm Latina, you know.
There's this one time I was in class and we were having a discussion with our teacher, and this girl, she was like, wait, you talk Spanish? And I was like, yeah, I'm Hispanic. She was like, oh, well, you must be Mexican, right? And I was like, no, I'm Salvadorian. She was like, oh no, you're all Mexicans to me. And then like from then on I was like, that really stuck with me, because you know, Latinos, there's like a lot of varieties. There's South America, Central America, and like you don't know if what you are, right? Because there's a lot of places that you could be from, like Guatemala, Honduras. But if it really hurt me to feel like, to see that someone just makes like things that you, yeah, it was weird.
Well, for me personally, I just don't like how being colored is always seen in such a harsh lighting. Like, we're always being degraded and being thought as the dumber part of society. Like, we're not on other people's standards. We can't be the CEOs. We can't be the lawyers. You know, we can't have the doctor's degree. We can't go to college. Like, we can't finish high school. And a lot of stuff is provided to white people, but they act like we can't get the same things by hard work. And that just annoys me, because all of us students here, we have vigorous classes that we attend. It's all very hard, but they don't think we're putting in the work like we are. It's just annoying.
I think it's important for us to, just as humankind, to understand that we use patterns as a way of survival. That's what we've done in order to progress in society. So knowing that once we see certain things, we notice a pattern and we react towards those patterns, yes, we can defend saying like that's what we use in order to progress. But at this stage of life, as you heard from these women, at this stage, it's really harmful and hurtful to assume that we know the characteristic traits, the abilities, the potential that somebody has, especially if we're doing it based off of something so superficial as how they look or their skin color. So I hope that we did a good job of explaining some of that to you all, that we know that assumptions are going to naturally happen. We all have assumptions, and we're never going to be able to not have assumptions or have a stereotype, but it's knowing how to discern how far we go with those, especially if we're sharing that with another person. And our last segment, thank you all for sticking with us, is actually about relationships, but today we're going to talk about something very different, and that's because of the tragic news that we all heard yesterday with 9 people losing their lives in a helicopter crash. Among those were a lot of wonderful people, families and young athletes, but also there was Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna. So I'm sure everybody knows by now what has happened and how this has impacted the world, not just our country, not just that city, but the entire world. Today, we really wanted to talk about not just Kobe as an athlete, but we wanted to talk about him being so much more than that and the legacy that he left and that he's continuing to grow even without him being here. Kobe Bryant was so much more than just an athlete. And I have some of the things that he contributed to this society. First and foremost, as an athlete, you never expect that athlete to become a huge supporter of his children and become like that soccer mom. And that's exactly what he became after he retired. Once he retired, he became a family man and he invested in his children. He believed in his children. He had no sons. He has 4 daughters, and he cherished them like they were his most prized possession. One of his daughters, Gianna, wanted to be an athlete, and instead of saying you should be doing something else as a girl, he put his energy, he put his time, he put his effort into making her the best athlete that she could be. And I think that's one of the most endearing things that someone to his magnitude could do. Not only was he really great as a family man and as a supporter, he was the coach of his daughter's team, but he also raised money to gain awareness to wars. He donated several thousand books to LeBron James Foundation. He donated to other high school basketball teams. He just bought a female soccer team and supported them because his first love was actually soccer. And he donated and spent his time to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. There were so many things that he did. He created a short film to help inspire young people to dream bigger. Barack Obama really said it. He was just starting the second half of his wonderful legacy, because basketball wasn't just it. He was about to do so many more things. And what's beautiful about this, although it's very tragic, is he and his thoughts and his legacy lives within all of us. So the question that I have for my students here is, what does having a legacy or creating a legacy mean to you? Do you feel like you're capable of creating a legacy or having a legacy?
Of course I do. I feel like if you work very hard for it, of course you can leave a name behind for yourself. I know I really do want to, especially for my family, that I can say that life is so short, and with the time that I had being here, I made something of it, and I'm able to show my race and my ethnicity, that I did this and you can too. It just promotes a bigger standard for us. It promotes a higher standard, a higher pedestal that if I can do it, you can do it too.
I think it's important because, like, when you pass on, they go like, oh yeah, I know her because like the accomplishments she did and all like of her hard work. So I think it's important, and I really feel like that I am going to leave a legacy, because like I want to like be hardworking and leave something behind so people can know me. But yeah, I feel like that it is a good thing to leave a legacy so people can like know like what you did and how hard you worked and stuff like that.
Of course.
Yeah, I had a friend once told me, he's like once you die, like there's nothing else, like everything you work for, you're not gonna get nothing out of it. And like I was telling him, I'm like, you know, when people die, you sometimes leave a legacy, a mark on somebody. Maybe you gave somebody like some advice and you died, you passed away, right? But then that person remembers, she's like, oh, you know what, like Angela told me this, and I can move forward and strive and do what I want to do, and I can accomplish it. And it's like a mark that you leave on people so they can like become better than what they think they are, you know? And I feel like Kobe Bryant with that one short film he did, and like he probably inspired many people to keep going.
Absolutely.
I believe that if you believe that you can do something, and you will accomplish it. But so it doesn't even matter if you help, like sometimes you won't be able to help everyone around you, but like if you help one person that's like beside you, that can like that leaves a legacy, you know?
Absolutely.
you left a mark on someone, and that someone will like move on and leave a mark to someone else, and it's keep on going like that. And I feel like you don't have to
Do anything big.
anything
Yeah.
big, but
Yeah.
Like, you don't really have
The
to
small
impact the
stuff.
whole
The
world.
small
It's just
stuff.
to like,
Little things.
yeah.
Like with family, friends.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Personally believe that destiny isn't programmed, it changes, fate changes, everything's not gonna go the way you want it to. So my perfect legacy for me, if I have kids, I want them to see what I've done. I want them to be better than me. I want them, everyone's gonna make mistakes, but eventually if you keep changing, or if you keep
We're recording, and you're like messing us up.
if you
Thanks.
keep fixing your problems or mistakes little by little as generations go on, as your generations go on, your kids, their kids, then eventually there's not going to be any more problems, So my legacy to be left would just be to impact everyone little by little, I want to be known as somebody who helped other people, who also humored other people, because I was funny.
And we know, just like all of you said, it's those small ripple effects that make bigger waves. Just by helping that one person in your life, they will help another person, and they will help another person, and the love spreads. So that's how we can create a legacy. And I know that all of you here will be making legacies as well.
I'm in the ghetto. Ra-ta-ta-ta. 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 I'm in the ghetto.
I can't.
All right, y'all. So to end our segment, like we said, we wanted to end with something fun, something light, something that will make you laugh. And for this week, it is this wonderful video on TikTok.
I'm in the ghetto.
I mean, I cannot tell you how many remakes that I've seen of that already.
Exactly.
I will remake myself.
Yes, she does have a remake.
Yeah, on TikTok.
But let's be honest, as a teacher, I am also thinking about how problematic it is sometimes when people depict what the ghetto is and what constitutes the ghetto and what's in the ghetto. So even though I did find it quite funny, I do have to challenge that. Although, what y'all said earlier, y'all was like,
That's not how the ghetto sound. It go fa fa fa. That's the ghetto. I'm gonna fa fa fa. That's the ghetto.
We thank you all for enjoying our first episode, our first attempt of Teen Talk with TGMT. We think that this is going to be a hit, and we wanted to make sure that, they really voiced who they are as young adults and talk about the things that are important to y'all. Like we said, we did not talk about the relationship segment. That was on purpose because we did want to talk about something that was really important with the passing of the 9 people yesterday. But if you have any ideas of topics for relationships, please send it, because we love talking about relationships.
Yes.
That's the T.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.